I want Premium Pass to stay in the next Battlefield game. Whenever there is a discussion about new title coming out or how Premium worked in Battlefield 1, there's always two groups of players. One who loves Premium and the second one which doesn't. And recently, I've been thinking quite a lot about it and I came to the conclusion that this second group doesn't fully understand the problem. At least some of the players that happen to be in that group. And since there is nothing better to do, because we're still waiting for the new DLC to come out, let's just discuss it and go over why I think that Premium Pass should stay and why I would prefer it to stay. Generally, to fully understand the problem and the whole discussion behind it, all of you guys need to be on the same page with me. And that means you need to be aware of the fact that whether this is premium, microtransactions, loot boxes, whatever this is, there will be something implemented to the next Battlefield game, because developers, DICE and EA, they all need money to develop future content. They need the money, especially when designing the game on such a huge scale as the Battlefield is. Literally the biggest online shooter with the best graphics and the best netcode in the industry. Who made it? No one else besides EA and DICE. And because of that, they will always have to get the money one way or another if we want them to produce future content. Now to the actual thing, why do I like Premium Pass so much? And majority of you are probably asking the question, what's wrong with you? And the answer to that is simple. I pay $50 once and I know that I will have all of the future content that will be added to the game in the next 2 years. Or even 3 sometimes, depending on the game. But with Battlefield 1 specifically, it is 2 years and I got all of the content that was promised. All of the new maps, weapons, well maybe not yet because the Apocalypse is about to come out, but you get the reference. I get the full package of the content and there is nothing left out. I can do everything, I have everything. And although I don't think that Battlefield 1's Premium Pass had a good schedule and was properly designed, I still believe that it is way better than microtransactions or some loot boxes. Because here is the thing, we don't know how those microtransactions would work. Would they be only cosmetic, or maybe you would have to pay in microtransactions to get better weapons? It is a possibility. It could even be a loot box system from Battlefront 2 implemented into Battlefield. Who knows? But if that would be the case, I'd probably rebrand the whole channel and start recording Battlegrounds instead of Battlefield. Seriously. I wouldn't even touch the next game if it had a loot box system that works like Battlefront 2 did. Or still does actually. And now comes the next question. Would DICE and EA get enough money from microtransactions to secure designing the next DLCs? Of course, once the game would come out and had microtransactions in it, players would buy them no matter what they would do. If those would be cosmetic only or unlock new weapons, they would buy tons of them. But after a year, before the last DLC, would they still be buying it? Would they still buy enough microtransactions to actually secure the next DLC? And why am I calling it secure? Because when you have a company and you want to start some project, build something, create something, you're not gonna do it if you don't have enough money to actually do it till the end and finish the product. You're not, because you're not gonna operate at loss. So they need to have money a couple of months before the DLC to actually know that yeah, we can design the DLC and we're not gonna be left halfway through without money to actually finalize it. And if they didn't, then what? What do? Do they drop the DLC? Do they not design it at all? Or do they just cut the cost of it and make it a worse product? That's how you do it in business, I'm sorry, that's how it works. And then we, players on the receiving side, we have no idea whether the next DLC will be as high quality as the previous one was, or maybe it will not be because DICE didn't have money to actually design it. Naturally, this is the worst case scenario, I don't think it will actually happen, but just know it is always a possibility. You know what's the funniest thing in this whole discussion? People, YouTubers or even big influencers who are saying that DICE should take a look at what Ubisoft did with Rainbow Six Siege and their premium pass system there. Or it's called Season Pass over there, but whatever. Basically, if you're not familiar with Rainbow Six Siege Premium Pass, they release 4 DLCs a year, with 2 new operators in each DLC and 1 new map. Although those maps are available to everyone, and even if you don't own the Premium Pass or Season Pass, you can still play on all of them. New operators, however, are locked behind paywall, and if you want to unlock them, you can do so without paying, but you will have to grind so much in-game currency that it will take you a lot of hours to actually play before you can unlock those 2 new operators. So a lot of players decide to buy this Season Pass and play with the new operators as soon as they come out. What's interesting about Rainbow Six Siege and Battlefield is that if you buy Premium Pass in Battlefield, you have it for the whole game life cycle. And in Rainbow Six Siege, you have to buy the Season Pass every single year if you want to get the new content first. Also, all of those people saying, "Oh, Rainbow Six Siege has such a great system, Battlefield should take a look at it and copy it," they don't understand that Rainbow Six Siege has 4 DLCs and there is only 1 map in each DLC, and also the map in Rainbow Six Siege is a house, warehouse, some location that's small. And while granted, I know there is tons of designing there, Battlefield comes out with 4 or even 6 maps in the new DLC, and those are big locations designed for 64 players. New tanks, new aircraft, new elite classes, behemoths, tons of new weapons, new specializations, and people are like, "No, give it to us for free." Why not? We already paid for the vanilla game, and we demand the future content to be free. And this is coming from the people who just spent $2,000 or even more on their brand new gaming PC, and they don't want to spend extra $100 on the game that they will be playing for the next 2 years straight. And what's even more absurd is that majority of those people complaining and demanding a free content live in countries such as USA, Germany, France, whatever other countries that have a good salary on average, and the price of premium isn't really that high for them. And I'm saying this from a perspective of someone who lives in Poland, and the average salary here compared to the price of premium makes premium a lot more expensive for us. And still, I'm able to afford it as an 18-year-old because I know that if I pay for it, I'll be getting a new content for the next 2 years or a year and a half. I fully understand people that are complaining and come from countries in Africa or some poor Asian countries. For example, Thailand. The conversion of premium price to their salary is terrible there. And this, I fully understand. You can really buy tons of stuff in Thailand for those $50 instead of buying premium. But in other countries, especially the rich European countries or the America, I just don't get it. I can bet that majority of those people who are complaining and live in those rich countries spend more on fast foods in 1 week than they would have to pay for premium. And guess what? DICE doesn't have any obligation to give you this content for free. They don't. They didn't promise you anything when you bought the vanilla game. You bought the finished product that had content in it, and that's it. That's what you paid for. And if you want to get more, sadly, you have to pay for it because someone else had to put in work and time to actually create it. Anyway guys, let me know what do you think about it. Do you prefer premium or do you prefer microtransaction system? Which one would you like to see in the next Battlefield game? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I see you on the battlefield.